In this video, we're going to discuss 4 examples of things the ego does, 4 common egoic behavior patterns, in order to help us rise above our own egos when they attempt to surface within us. To assist us in this regard, we have clips from The A-Team, The King of Queens, and the long-running animated series Family Guy.
All right, on 3, everyone say their favorite Spider-Man. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Andrew Garfield.
What? Are you
kidding
kidding me? It's not even close. There'd be no Spider-Man movie without Tobey Maguire.
The ego is incomplete by nature because it is a falsely created identity, a false sense of self. Because the ego is not who we truly are, it is always trying to prop itself up to prove its own sense of self-worth. We see this behavior play out frequently today on social media as the ego forms divisive opinions, declaring itself right and others wrong. When the ego decides it is right, those it is judged as wrong are deemed inferior, and by default, the ego can now consider itself superior. The ego does not care who it hurts in the process, often damaging, if not severing, relationships entirely, as it continues forward consumed solely with its agenda of self-perpetuation.
This is my chance to go out into the world and use my heaven-sent gift to gab to accumulate all these shallow, purposeless toys that mankind lusts for.
Because the ego is illusory and incomplete to begin with, it does not know how to be happy or content. Unwilling to look inward at itself, the ego therefore seeks happiness outwardly through external means. As stated in the previous clip, the ego seeks out shallow and purposeless toys in its quest to feel good, to find some degree of happiness and cling to it. But as we have all experienced, the happiness derived from a material possession quickly dissipates, and we're left feeling the same sense of emptiness as before. So we buy more and more and more, leading to a life of hollow, superficial consumerism. This is not to say that owning material items is bad per se, but we mustn't depend upon our things for our happiness. In this way, we mustn't let our possessions own us.
Hey, you take care, Doug.
I'll see you later.
I'll see you later. All right.
I hate that son of a bitch.
What?
It was 7th grade. I was in the cafeteria and I accidentally threw out my $6 million man thermos top. So I'm going through the garbage looking for it, and Sean McGee told everybody that I licked the trash can.
In this clip, Doug, who is now in his 30s, has held a grudge against his former classmate Sean for over 20 years. Because the ego depends upon others to validate its sense of self, Doug's ego has coerced him into taking offense at Sean's comments and holding on to this anger and resentment for decades, all the while unwilling to look at how these negative feelings and energies are impacting its own host's internal state. And if you're unaware of the physiological impact that anger has on the human system, I'll add a link in this video's description below to a short video I created entitled "Why You Should Let Go of Anger" that addresses this precise topic. In short, this example reveals to us how the ego does not care about what is in our best interests, and it is consumed only with its own self-serving machinations.
They're the Saxkis. We hate them. They're wrong. We're right.
Yeah, right, Cal, you're right. You're always right, but sometimes it's better to be happy.
I am happy.
As witnessed in the preceding clip, Carrie has allowed her ego to assume control, and we see Doug attempting to coax her back into alignment with her true, authentic self. In this instance, Carrie's ego is consumed with hatred for her neighbors and consumed with the concept of being right. As long as Carrie believes herself to be right, her ego can feel justified in its hostile footing. But as Doug tries to point out, being happy is more important than being right, as a state of internal peace is its own reward. This is a common misstep we often see in our modern, mind-identified world, of placing precedence over being right rather than the well-being of our own internal state. And just as with the previous example, I encourage you to watch the short video referenced in this video's description box below to learn of the negative impact anger has on the human body and our overall state of well-being. So this has been 4 examples of things the ego does, a review to help us more readily recognize the ego when it surfaces within ourselves. Now that we have a sense of what the ego looks like, the next step, of course, is to let go of it when it arises. If you'd like further guidance on how to transcend your ego, I've included a link in the description box below to a video I've put together to address this question entitled, How to Stop Listening to Your Ego. I truly hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be enlightening and empowering. If you'd like to see additional videos in this same style, please let me know in the comments section below. Or if you have requests for other topics you'd like me to cover that fall within the scope of the subject matter addressed on my channel, I'd love to hear your requests as well. I truly appreciate you watching.
You all appreciate it.
And I wish you a wonderful, happy day.